Hi guys, it's Hillary here, and today we have a totally different video than what I normally do. I have an awesome collaboration with my friend Julie over at Jules. And so what we did, I reached out to her and I said we should do a YouTube collaboration. I had seen some other YouTube Bible journaling people who did something similar. So what we did was we sent $5 to $10 worth of materials to the other person, and we were thinking a lot about what to journal, and we decided we would do a hymn. So we're both working in a hymn book, and we are doing the song, "Oh Come All Ye Faithful," and specifically focusing on "Oh Come Let Us Adore Him." So I thought I'd show you guys what she sent and then walk through a process video showing how I did the page. So she had this cute little card she made, and then she sent some washi tape that's really cool plaid, which I'm excited to use. She sent a little winter fox stamp, which is cute. She also sent this big stamp that has all these questions connecting with Christmas and kind of good prompts for us to think about too. Did the hay tickle your toes? Can you still hear Mary's soft lullabies? When Joseph first held you, did your Heavenly Father look on with longing? So that's a really fun stamp. She also sent some napkins, which I love the napkin tutorial, using napkins and journaling. So I love these little Christmas trees, and this one says peace, love, and joy. She included some really pretty papers. There's some with music notes that'll be really good for the hymnal. There's some with snowflakes, some polka dots, and some other patterns, and some plaid. And she also included 2 doilies. That one kind of reminds me of snow. And she sent some gift tags and some ribbon or string. And then I have lots of really fun paperclip tabs that she included. And then I think these are for making shakers, and she sent some really fun sequins. So I'm going to attempt to make a shaker, I think. And then in this little pouch, there's some more tabs and shapes. I really like these little stars and some book pieces. So I'm going to put you guys on fast forward and walk through a tutorial in the hymn book. So this page was a good challenge for me. I think a lot of times we get kind of stuck using the same supplies and the same resources over and over. Like, I love using watercolors and I love using stickers, and there's certain things that I use a lot in my Bible journaling or hymn journaling. And so this was really good to push me outside of my comfort zone and kind of think about how can I use these supplies and use them in a creative way. So I really wanted the words, the letters, to adore him on the page. Adore him was kind of the key part that Julie and I really wanted to focus on. And so I thought I can use this paper to cut out my own letters. And so it took kind of a long time to cut out all the letters, but it also gave me a good time of just meditating and reflecting on the words to this hymn and what it means. And then while I was working, I also had some Christmas Christian music playing in the background too. So I was kind of reflecting on the lyrics to those songs as well. And so although it was tedious to cut out all the letters, I loved doing it. And I think it's good for us to kind of pause and do something different and really think about, I was really pondering the word adore as I made this page. And so originally I was going to do the hymn in green also, but then I decided to do it in red instead. So you'll see that at the top of the page. So Julie had sent me a few different napkins that I wanted to use on the page, and I loved all these different little trees. And so what I did was I ended up cutting out 3 of them and putting them on the bottom of the page. And I love how there's all these different styles and colors of the trees on the napkin. And so I ended up cutting 3 of them out, and then I swapped one of them out. So the one that I cut that was the more lime green, I decided that I wanted them to all be darker green. And so you'll see later in the video that the lime green one has been swapped out. And then the bottle of sequins that Julie sent me, she wrapped it in this really, really pretty gold tissue paper. And I wanted to definitely include that somehow. I don't know if she had intended for me to include it in the page or not, but I just love the pretty gold, and I just thought it would be a cool border to use. And I have this book that you'll see pop up in a little bit in the video. It's called Then Sings My Soul. It's by Robert J. Morgan, and he put together this book that tells the stories behind hymns. And in each hymn, he put a Bible verse. And so the one for this hymn was Matthew 2:11. It talks about the wise men falling down and worshiping Jesus. And whenever I think of the wise men, I think of the gold and frankincense and myrrh. And so I thought the gold on the tissue paper really connected well with that verse and kind of this hymn too. Like, what does it mean to adore Jesus? And so I just ended up kind of fussy cutting out these little napkin trees and was going to put them along the bottom. And the other napkin that Julie sent was this really pretty one that said peace, love, and joy. And like I said, I was reflecting a lot on the word adore. And so adore means to love and respect and worship something. And so I wanted to include the love napkin word as well as kind of a definition of the word adore. That was something that was really important to me in this video, in this page, was to talk about what does it mean to adore the Lord. So as I was kind of thinking and pondering for this video, like I said, I was reading about the history behind the song, the hymn, O Come All Ye Faithful. And so it evidently was first written by John Francis Wade, who was a Roman Catholic, and he was, it said, hounded out of England in 1745. And he fled the country and began writing out hymn music notes, music sheets to support himself. And so he penned this hymn. And then later on, he passed away. And later on, a man by the name of Frederick Oakley, a reverend, he was the one who translated it into English. And so I just thought it was really cool that here Julie and I are doing this video kind of project together and collaborating. And this hymn is kind of a collaboration of 2 people who shared the same passion for music. And Julie and I are 2 people who share the same passion for art and being creative and Bible journaling and hymn journaling. And so I just thought that was a really kind of neat connection with the history of the hymn to nowadays. And if you guys have not checked out Julie's channel before, she has awesome Bible journaling and hymn journaling videos. I love watching her to get new ideas and to see what she's doing. And so it's just really neat to kind of collaborate with someone else and work together, because I think that's what, the kingdom of the Lord is all about, is working together to do awesome things for the Lord and for, encouraging other people. So I'm going to put a link to Julie's YouTube channel and also to her video where she walks through how she creates her page using the materials that I sent her. And so go check that out. Give her channel a subscribe and like her video, and show her some love too. So I'm using gesso to put down the little napkin pieces that I cut out, and so I'm just doing a really thin layer. I found for me, I prefer to just use my fingers to put the gesso down. Some people use a paintbrush, but I just like using my finger. I found I have more control. And so I put a thin layer down, and then I kind of waited for it to dry, and off camera I used my heat gun to dry it a little bit. But then I just put the gesso away. I have mentioned this before, but for those of you who don't know, I got my gesso at Michael's, and it works well for me, and I used a 60% off coupon, which is always nice. And so I'll put a link in the description below to the gesso I use if you guys are interested in that. So like I mentioned, this is the book. It's called Then Sings My Soul by Robert Morgan. And so on all the pages on the left side, it has the hymn and the sheet music, and the right side, the story behind it. And so he put down the verse, Matthew 2, verse 11. And it says, "And when they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented gifts to him, gold, frankincense, and myrrh." And so I really wanted to have that verse written next to this hymn, because I think it's just a perfect example of what it means to adore him, like how it talks about that they fell down on their knees. And I think that is something that we need to do more often, and have just real reverent respect for the Lord. So I have always wanted to make a shaker, and my friend Ashley on Instagram, she always makes these beautiful shakers, and so I was really excited that Julie sent me some plastic sheets and some sequins so that I could try my hand at making my own. And so I'm cutting down paper to be my backdrop for the shaker, and so I made sure it fits. And she also included this cute little star, and so what I end up doing is I kind of hang it from the top of the paper, and so I end up taping it to the back side, and I wrote on it, "Oh come let us adore him," again with the star kind of representing the wise men and their direction towards Jesus. And so I wanted to use the big stamp with all the questions on the back side of the shaker, because I knew you'd be able to see it, and I thought that would just be a cool place to use this giant stamp. Because at first I was like, where am I going to put that? But I just love how it turned out. So I just inked up the whole back side and pushed it down, and it didn't come out perfectly, and I love that. It kind of reminds me of like a newspaper or something. So I was really pleased with how that came out. And so like I said, I attached the star to the top kind of the back side, just using a little bit of the washi tape that came in the kit. And then once that was done, I slid it into the plastic sleeve, and I filled it with the bright red confetti, and I sealed up the top using another piece of the washi tape, because I don't have any myself. So you can see the shaker turned out really fun. It's pretty big, and so I ended up attaching it to the other page. So thank you guys for watching this video, and thanks to Julie for collaborating with me. If you are not subscribed to the Creative Faith channel, do so for more Bible journaling and hymn journaling videos, and check out Julie's channel too. Have a Merry Christmas, and thank you. Bye.